everybody, it's Sunday the 26th of June and it's another race day. It's the Benarty Gala Trail Race and it's at the Loch Ore Meadows, the Meadeys, which is in the west side of Fife. I did this one last year and quite enjoyed it. It's generally flat. There is quite a big loch in the country park. It used to be a colliery, but now it's a country park. So there is quite a big loch in the middle of the park, and the path generally goes right round the loch. However, at the far side of the loch, there is quite a significant hill. It's, I don't know, probably somewhere between half a k and a k from the bottom to the top. It starts off reasonably okay, but then kind of goes ballistic towards the top, and I don't think I'll be running all the way to the top. We did a recce a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it was fine. It was all in quite good condition, but it has been raining quite a lot, so it's probably going to be a bit stickier. I'm not going to record the actual run, but I'll drop in footage of last year's one. It's essentially the same thing that we're doing, just the weather that's slightly different. Okay, so what am I trying to achieve here? Well, last week we did the Glenrothes 10k road race, and it was a bit of a disaster. Basically everything could go wrong, did go wrong, and I was given up within 2.5k. In fact, within 200 metres, my video records me saying I can't do this. So I was beaten before I even got started. So I was really quite devastated, you know, with that one. Having said that, I then went out 2 days after, so that was last Tuesday, and ran the route again on my own, and it was absolutely fine, and the time came in 5.5 minutes or something faster than on the race, and I didn't really have to stop and walk, whereas in the race I must have walked at least a third of the route. So yeah, you can kind of look back on that, and I think there's a video with some reflection on that shows how I was feeling and so on. One of the big conclusions that I drew was maybe it's something to do with being in a race. It always seems to be the case that if I'm running on my own, I can manage to run generally without any trouble. Not always, but generally. Whereas when I get into a situation where I'm running either in a race or in a group of faster runners and I feel a bit of pressure, my brain just doesn't seem able to cope with it. So going out on Tuesday kind of reinforced that that's what was wrong. I'm entering quite a few races in the next few weeks just to either prove or disprove that, and I suppose it would be difficult to either prove or disprove it. Or, and this is probably the real reason, is that, you know, deliberately put myself into that pressure position so that my brain kind of starts to become more accustomed to it and accept it as normal rather than you know, something to panic over. Before the race, I'm going to go around. You know, we're probably about 2.5 hours before the race. So I'm going to take a run round the route, round the loch, but not going up the hill, and I'll do that as a warm-up, so that should be somewhere about 6 or 7 k's, and we'll have probably somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half recovery, and then we'll get into the race. Good, so we'll come back after that and let you know how we got on, but hopefully we'll be okay.
On your mark, Harran!
Watch who's running. like on the recce, the recon. This is definitely a walk up job. So we've done just over 4k, 24 minutes. Legs are going, legs are going. That's it, at the top. So 4.43, 29.12. So that was 5 minutes to come up there. Whew. Right, 2 k's to go. It's hot and I'm tired already. Okay. Well, that was the Benarty Gala Trail Race. Of course that was footage from last year, so it doesn't actually show what happened this time. But I'm pleased to say that everything went well. I said that I was going to run the route twice, effectively once without going up the hill as a warm-up, and again in the actual race itself, which of course does include the hill. I think going round the route beforehand was a good idea, because it kind of gave me a bit of reassurance, A, that I could do it. In fact, the route when I was doing the warm-up lap, it seemed to be a bit shorter than I remembered it from last year, and yeah, so I think that helped me to cope quite well. I deliberately didn't look at my watch to see how my time was getting on. I deliberately didn't worry about who it was I was running alongside. I just relaxed and enjoyed the race, not as a race as much as a run, and I got round absolutely fine. Didn't have to stop at all, and pace was quite good, including the hill. I came in almost bang on 6 minutes a kilometre, which isn't, you know, fast in absolute terms, but when you include that hill, it's pretty good. When I look at my stats, on the flat I was doing about 5.5 minute Ks, which is quite a bit faster than I've been used to. So that was good. I'm really quite reassured. In some ways though, because it was a race and I didn't seem to panic and I did manage, I'm now wondering about, you know, this whole idea about the problem being that I can't cope with pressure situations. I still think that's true. I'm absolutely convinced that that's really what's wrong with me. So I'm going to continue with that process. I'm starting from tomorrow a new marathon training program. Up until now it's been kind of my own informal idea, which was start wherever you are and add a kilometre every week, or 2 kilometres, whatever you need to be able to get on target by the marathon. But I've been looking around for some more structured programmes, and I've come down in favour of Bupa, who used to and still do sponsor a lot of big races. It used to be the Bupa Great North Run and the Bupa London Marathon and so on. So they've got a bit of credibility, and they do have a number of marathon training programmes, and I've gone for the intermediate one, which I think suits me quite well. So rather than being just a long run every week and kind of ad hoc runs during the week, it definitely sets out a schedule for stuff to do 6 of the 7 days, and I'm looking forward to getting started to that, and hopefully that will help. Whatever happens, you'll find out. This is what this YouTube channel is all about, is how can older people improve their running and run a marathon, and we can only report what we find, but I'm feeling quite positive about it. So from it's not quite Thomas the Tank Engine, but it's not far off it. This is what you would call a pug, owned by the National Coal Board, who operated the colliery here. And in the background's the winding tower, where they would have the winding gear and the lift, for want of a better word, the cage that would take the miners down the shaft into the galleries. So from the old redundant coalfield, we'll see you next time.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to make sure you get notifications of all new content.